What's up, everybody? It's 2021, we're back. Feels like just maybe 2 weeks ago, it was 2020. I know y'all miss Chef Fredo's kitchen. Kind of? Maybe a little bit? Well, again, we're back. Pleasure to have you with us. Look, we all gained that COVID weight. We all gained some pounds, all of us. Well, maybe some of you didn't, but I myself gained some. People around me gained some, and one of the biggest questions I've been getting lately is, let's make something healthy. Will, send me some recipes that are gonna help me trim that body fat. Send me some recipes that are easy to count my macros. We got that for you today. We're doing a beef and sweet potato stir fry. Simple. The ingredients can be switched in, switched out. I'm telling you right now, it's delicious, doesn't take a long time, and this can be an all-day meal. So get prepared, sit back, grab your diet sodas, grab your water, grab your vitamin water. I got one right here. And let's hang out. All right, everybody, so before we jump into the actual recipe and what we're cooking, let me just let you know what's going in this plate. We have garlic, we have onions, we have peppers, which will be julienned. We have sweet potato, we have chicken stock. Organic chicken stock is my favorite to me, it always just tastes better. We have avocado oil, we have apple cider vinegar, and we have liquid aminos, which is an alternative to hoisin sauce or soy sauce, and I prefer it in my cooking. And obviously we have beef. So I'm gonna cut some of these items up. I'm gonna start putting them together, and I'm gonna move for some good food, so let's do it. All right, so just cutting some peppers up here. You can use what kind of peppers you prefer. I prefer the yellow and the orange over green. Red is fine too. Basically, green bell peppers are just bell peppers that haven't ripened, so they don't have as many nutrients as the colored ones. So basically, there's gonna be juliennes. So you want to make sure cut them in stripes. Realistically, you only need, for this recipe, you only need one pepper. So you're gonna have leftovers. I like to make my plates colorful. So that's why I like using different colored peppers. And also too, the flavors are slightly different in all these peppers. So we'll go ahead and put those to the side. We need to cut an onion. Now, there's a bunch of different methods on how you can cut onions. People cut them differently. To me, I do the easiest thing. I cut off the ends, take off the outer layer. As I'm talking, I'm gonna show you. So we pull that outer layer out, obviously, the layer we're not gonna be using. Okay, so there you got your onion, clean layer. Okay, I think the simplest thing to do is you grab the onion and you cut into it. You don't cut all the way through it, you just cut into it. As you can see, it almost like fans out, right? Makes it easier to hold it while you're cutting at the very end. So now, you just cut it so. And there you go, there's your onion, simple. Easy way to cut it. The leftover part that we didn't cut, because we wanted to hold it together, you just cut that piece together, and that. Got your onion, that's it. So again, here's the onion, you don't cut, you only cut lines through it. Don't cut all the way through it because it keeps it together so you don't have to hold it when you're cutting it. So again, see, it's fanned out, got it? Now you just cut it crossways. So as I said earlier though, you have this part that we didn't cut, right? It's not fanning. So this part, simple. Put it down, cut it. Here's your onions, voila, not that hard. I'm not crying. I'm not crying, you're crying. So anyways, that's it. That's the onions. And then for the garlic cloves, we do want to use about 3 cloves. And these you're actually going to just cut in real thin slices. So, no, I'm making a mess up here, but don't got a trash can next to me. So we'll go ahead and get the cloves. Now, this is always going to be preference. The amount of garlic that goes into a dish is always preference. I love garlic, so I always try to put extra garlic in my food when I cook. Some people don't like garlic as much as me, and that's okay. So we're gonna go and just slice it real thinly. Don't mince it, slice for this recipe. Typically, when you use garlic, you tend to always want to mince garlic, but we're not gonna mince it, we're gonna slice it for this recipe. So there's our garlic. Okay. Again, thin slices. I'm focused. I want to cut my fingers off, right? All right, so that's it. So here's the vegetables. Earlier I did pre-cut some sweet potatoes because you had to be peel them and cubed. So this is pretty much it. So again, sweet potatoes peeled and cubed. You got your bell peppers, you got your onions, and you got your garlic. We're gonna combine everything together. We're gonna put together some sauces to get everything going. All right, so next we're gonna make the sauce that we're gonna incorporate into the meat and the vegetables. So we're gonna start off with 2/3 cup of the chicken stock. So again, it's 2/3 cup. And over here, we're going to be putting 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, okay? Tablespoon apple cider vinegar. And then the last ingredient is gonna be the liquid aminos. Again, this is a substitute for soy sauce, it's a substitute for hoisin sauce. I use it in a lot of my cooking. Bragg, it's a really good product, so I'm gonna put some of that in here as well. Now, if it was regular hoisin sauce or soy sauce, we're putting in a 1/4 cup. Because this is really concentrated, I'd venture to say we're putting maybe a 1/5 cup, which isn't something really you really can measure because it'll make a cup for, but you wanna be very careful with this stuff because again, it is very concentrated, and if you overdo it, it'll make your food super salty, so. All right, that's that. So we're gonna go ahead and whisk it. So now we have this liquid, okay? So now we have the vegetables, we have the meat, we have the sauce. We're gonna start working in the wok, and this recipe does use a wok because it is a stir fry. Keep in mind, these pans are different than just a regular saucepan. Make sure when we're making this, if you can, you are able to get a wok because it is high heat, it's quick heat, and the way it cooks is gonna be incorporating the pan itself to make sure that the food comes out the way it should. So move over here right now. So we got beef, but we gotta cut it in strips. So remember, you're gonna be cutting these in real thin strips. This is about what you want it to look like, okay? And it's just 3/4 of a pound. Trim the fat. You want it to be lean because keep in mind, this is gonna be a healthy dish, right? It's something that anybody on any kind of diet is trying to lose weight can eat. So make sure it's just real thin strips. I'll finish these up and we'll move on after that. All right, so vegetables cut, sauce is prepared, meat is cut. We're going to move forward. We're going to go over to the wok. Now, the way the wok works is you want to make sure when you cook in a wok, it's high heat, intense heat. So we're going to turn it on. Okay, got it. Now, again, not all the way hot, right? About a medium heat, but you want it to heat the pan up pretty quick. What I like about these hex-clad pans, real quick, just to let you guys know, is that it heats 360 and it heats all at the same time. That's why I really like using these kinds of pans. Just a side note. So we'll let that heat up. Now, as soon as this pan is hot, we're gonna toss a teaspoon of avocado oil. Now, again, you don't wanna toss it preemptively. You wanna wait for the pan to be hot so that once you throw that oil on there, within 5 seconds you're throwing the meat. So we start cooking that right away. So we'll get to that right now. Let's pan heat up and we'll go from there. All right, so the pan is hot. We're gonna toss some of this oil. Like I said, a teaspoon of avocado oil. That's my favorite oil to cook with. So we got a teaspoon in there. So now we're just gonna wait for that to heat up real quick, and then we're gonna toss that meat in. Now, we have to be very attentive because woks cook quick. The last thing we wanna do is burn our meat. Sounds great. So now, we get our meat in there. Now again, we wanna make sure that we're not leaving this meat alone. We gotta make sure that we're constantly watching it and moving it because we don't want it to burn, okay? It's gonna take about 1 to 2 minutes of cooking for it to brown where we want it to get to. So that's that. We're just gonna wait, watch. One thing cooking has taught me, like nothing else in life, is patience. Some of the best dishes I've made have taken 2 or 3 hours, and that's okay. Life lessons in the kitchen, right? All right, now the meat's cooking. I'm gonna go ahead and put about half a teaspoon of liquid aminos, because that'll help flavor the meat as well as it's cooking. So, heaven. We're only like a third of the way done. Don't burn the meat. Oh, don't burn your meat. Now, producer, can you smell this? Can you smell what Fredo is cooking? Anyways, so the meat is done. We're gonna go ahead and move it over to a plate so we can get the rest of the dish going. Oh, that smells good, good. Alrighty. So meat to the side. Put the pan back on the flame. Turn it down a little bit between low and medium. We're gonna put another teaspoon of avocado oil. Okay, now we're actually going to be adding the garlic and onions in here, okay? Make sure we keep the garlic and onions. Those always cook by themselves a little bit to make sure that they combine, the flavors combine. Again, it's a wok, so this is cooking fast. Watch your vegetables. Okay, I'll just go ahead and move this around here. All right. Man, I said this in previous episodes, but one of the best smells, in my opinion, is onion and garlic hitting hot oil. Delicious. All right. Want to cook them in here at about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. You don't want them to burn, but you do want those flavors to mix together, okay? So go ahead. Nice and hot. Okay, so the onions and garlic have been in here for about 1.5 minutes, as you can see. They're good to go. Now we're throwing the sweet potatoes in next. And we're throwing in the bell peppers, okay? Okay, so that's that on the vegetables. Now the sauce we made earlier, make sure it's still mixed well. We're gonna throw, for the most part, most of the sauce in there. We're gonna keep a little bit at the very end to mix with some cornstarch to thicken the sauce, but I'd say you wanna use probably 3/4 of what we made earlier. All right, just gonna mix that together now. Oh yeah. Oh. The mixtures of these flavors, something delicious. And it's a simple dish to make too. That's why I like it so much, to be completely honest with you. I eat this at least once a week. And it impresses the house guests. Makes it look all fancy. I'm in the mood for some good food. That was actually, you didn't, woohoo! Didn't expect that, did you? All right, so now we're gonna leave these vegetables are cooking it out. I forgot the cover, but worry not, because I make my way in life. Next level. This song's dope, I like this song. Woo, it's almost done.
What you doing? Where you at? Oh, you got plans. Don't say that. Shut your trap. I'm sipping wine. In a robe. I look too good to be alone. My house clean. My pool warm. Just shake. Smooth like a newborn. We should be dancing, romancing in the east wing and the west wing.
I'm just playing. just having some time while I'm cooking, bro. That's all it is. All right, so the vegetable mixture with the sauce is pretty much done. Like I said earlier, we had a little bit of that sauce left over. We're gonna combine a tablespoon of cornstarch. This is just gonna be to thicken the sauce in there, okay? That's really what the point of putting cornstarch in any kind of sauce is gonna be. So just mix it a little bit, nothing too crazy. Just wanna make sure you break up all the clumps, okay? All right, lift this up. Woo, too hot in there. Okay, so we can just pour it in there. Mix it around. This is gonna help thicken everything up in there. And we're almost done, so stand by. All right, cornstarch with the leftover sauce was in there, has been there. I put it in there, boiled for about a minute. It's done. Let's check. Okay, perfect. So that meat we made earlier, we're gonna toss it back in here. Okay, so now you have your meat, you have your vegetables. Give it a good mix. Oh man, oh man. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is pretty dang healthy. You could, if you don't want beef, you could always substitute chicken. You could substitute sausage. You could substitute chicken sausages. Those kinds of meats. Pork would be fine as well if you don't want beef. All right, so this is done. I'm gonna go ahead and plate this for everybody. And this is it. Thanks again for joining me. It's been a long break. I'm hoping that you're all safe, that you're sound, that you've made it through this tough time we went through this past year. Looks like we're coming out of it. Follow me on Chef Fredo's Kitchen. Like, subscribe. If you have any questions, please feel free to hit me up, send me messages. My producer can also answer them as well. I'm thankful that you're joining me right now, and I'm thankful that you're in my life. So again, take care of yourselves, be safe out there, and we'll see you next time on Chef Fredo's Kitchen.